Hey, Fan Nation, it's Tuesday night and it's time for the wrap. My name's Denny Fox, National Tournament Director for AIM Weekend Walleye Series. We're coming off a very busy weekend. We had two events back-to-back on the Bay of Green Bay out of Okata, Wisconsin. On Saturday the 18th, we had the Garmin Open. And on Sunday the 19th, we had the Berkley Open. So what we're going to bring to you tonight is the first and second place team from both of these events. It was a high stakes event, over 85 boats in both of them, $8,000 to win the event. And it was, well, as Green Bay would be, Green Bay. It started off the morning on Saturday with a tail end of a thunderstorm that threw some hail at us, some high winds. It backed us up an hour. So we had an hour delay on Saturday morning. We sent the anglers out at 8 o'clock. We gave them an extra hour at the end of it. So they fished until 4 and 4:15. And lo and behold, they went out there and caught some awful big fish. So without further ado, let's talk to the first place team from the first day at the Garmin Open. The winning team on day one was Jim Erdman and Jeremy Hurst. And here they are, Fan Nation, the newest champs in the walleye world. I got Jim Erdman, Jeremy Hurst on the wrap. How does it feel to be on the wrap, guys?
Feels great.
Pretty good, I would say. Surreal.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It takes a while for it to sink in, doesn't it? You go on the big ride home. Well, not really for you guys. You turned right around and fished the second event on Sunday, too.
Yeah.
So, to come back, Fan Nation, do you know what these guys did? They didn't just come back to fish the next day. They came back with a vengeance, the third the next day. A first and a third on the Bay of Green Bay. How did you guys do it? That's what they really want to know back home. How did you guys do it?
Well, it's probably all Jim. I mean, he's the guy in the boat.
Yeah, we came up on Thursday morning, Danny, and we had some ideas where we wanted to fish, and we know quite a few people around, and we got on a school of fish, and we knew there was good ones in there. We caught some nice fish. We never turned on them, and we left them be for 2 days. And we knew we could be over 32, 34 pounds, but we didn't know what it was capable of because we had never turned on those fish. And we went in there after that rainstorm on Saturday morning, and the south wind was a little bigger than we liked, but it cooperated in the right direction anyways. And to make our turn was slow going back to the south into those waves. But yeah, the fish were there, and it worked.
They stayed put after the storms on Saturday morning. They were there?
They were, surprisingly.
Wow.
I would have thought they would have moved a little bit. Maybe I think they did move a little bit south of where we had them previous, but right in the general area within a half mile, I would say.
How deep of water were you guys fishing at?
What was it, 21 to 26 foot of water?
Okay. That traditional break line that we fish out there.
Yep.
I'm presuming out on the mud someplace to the south.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. To the south.
Yeah. So what was the key? Spinners? Cranks?
We were using spinners. We had a combination of key things. It was actually funny in practice on Friday. We came into Okata at the break wall, and I saw a buddy of mine that I knew from Iowa, and he was up fishing with his family, and he usually stays on the door side. And I walked over, and he showed us his fish and gave us a bottle of water, and we saw his family. We haven't seen them in years, and he showed us one blade particular. And he said he caught fish on it today. We didn't have anything like it in the boat. So I bought one. I tied up a rig for Saturday morning, and that setup went all day long.
Oh, come on. It was just like that.
True story.
That's interesting because it happens more times than people at home think. It just, you bump into the right person, you get the right color combination going that you haven't thought of yet. And bam, you guys put 14 fish on your card. You threw away fish nobody would even throw. You threw away 26 and a quarter inch fish. You didn't need them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're looking at some of the fish pictures right now are going across the screen, and they're flashing up some of them. You had 27s, 28s, 26s, 27s. What a great afternoon of day of fishing, the whole day probably.
Well, I would say it started because, with the late start, we left the harbor at 8, and we were the tail end of the first flight. I would say it probably took us a good 30 minutes to get down there because we're old and we want to be slow, our backs hurt. And we ain't got time for that stuff, We want to be able to walk when we get down there.
Yeah, you got to be able to get out of the chair to fish.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult with our careers. But, gosh, I don't even remember where I was going with that.
Yeah, we got down there, we got set up, and I mean, growing up on Winnebago, you have to grind, and we ground, and we stayed on those fish. We never left. We didn't catch a fish until 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And then it started going for us, and that wind got big. And maybe by noon, we made some moves. It was getting really big, and we stayed on them anyway. The marks were there. The wind was bad. The current was big, and we were moving, and that wind laid down, and we just laid into them.
Did you guys have Seiche effect out there? Do you think the currents were coming from Seiche effect with the wind blowing from one direction, then changed to another, and then the whole thing just like a big bathtub moving around out there? Were you getting them cross currents that happen out there?
Yeah, sure.
There's so much water out there now. It just shifts and roils, and a lot of people don't understand that, and then they miss them current seams that you guys were obviously right on.
Oh yeah, it was, you would see that all of a sudden you'd have these waves coming across and we'd be like, well, where's the boat for those? And there was a boat by, and they were pretty big.
Yeah, there was, and I was watching from shore, and there was just a lot of disturbance out there throughout the day. It doesn't surprise me that you guys started catching them towards the 10, 11, 12, because that's when things started setting back up.
Yep.
It's like everything calmed down from that morning hoo-ha we had going on there.
Yep.
And it started to become more predictable, I think is the word for it.
Yeah, I would agree.
So where were your fish in that water column? Were they up top? Were they down on the bottom? Where were they at?
We were targeting about 14 feet down from the top.
Okay.
And we ended up having, at the end, all 6 of our lines running the same depth.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah. Once you find that food line, you just don't leave it.
Yeah.
How were you guys weighting them down? What was your preferred method?
Inline weights.
And that's
Okay.
interesting because on my side, I was using
he uses snap weights.
So we were using opposite rigs, and they were both working.
Okay. That's a good question, because over the years, I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people with an inline weight and getting more whip to it as it's going through a column, especially in the bigger waves. Snap weights with a whole lot less exaggerated as it comes along. And I'm a snap weight kind of guy. I prefer them, but it's easier with inline weights. It's clean. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell your fans out there in Fan Nation about your win?
I would say thank you, because I got major anxiety, so thanks to Xanax for getting me through Saturday. That is a horrible ride, let me tell you what. Boy.
How bad was it waiting for it to come up on the screen just about 6 o'clock?
I'm not worried about that as much as like getting, that isn't the anxious part in me. The part is them waves and just leaving the launch itself. So Jim's got a lot to deal with me in the boat. I'm a basket case.
We've been together since age 3, so I've learned to not hear too much.
I was gonna say, looks like we got a little age on ourselves. We could take care of this kind of thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'd like to thank all the volunteers at Ocano. They did a great job. They were super polite. You, Denny, and your
very
crew
nice.
was unbelievable. We are involved in the management side of competitive angling here in Oshkosh as well, so we know what it takes. So thank you guys for everything you guys do and putting on great events and having us.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate Fan Nation. We put it on for you, the anglers. That's why we're AIM, Anglers Insight Marketing. So thanks for visiting with us on the wrap. Maybe we'll see you yet after the state championship. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
That would be pretty nice. Bago's been a beast, though.
Oh, yeah. But everybody's going to be in that boat when they get there. So
I know.
It'll be which one of you shop rats can pull it out. That's going to be the big thing.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, thank you very much, guys. You guys have a good evening, and we will see you again in just a few weeks.
Thank you, Denny.
Sounds great, Denny. Thank you.
What great insight from a team that really went out there and did one heck of a job. You don't think about a lot of these things, inline weights, snap weights, how it can change the trajectory of everything that you're fishing with. Them guys really laid it out for us. But the second place team, father-son team of Kevin and Tim Wetmore. They've been around with us for quite some time, and they just slowly and steadily keep rising to the top. Hey, guys, welcome to the wrap. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, real good.
Yep, having a good night.
Yeah, it's always a good night when you come in second place, first place, or any place in the money in an AIM tournament, isn't it?
You got that right.
That's right. So you guys took second in the Garmin Open on Saturday. You had 38.54 pounds, just a couple pounds out of that first place slot. Tell me a little something. What did you guys do to catch these fish?
We pulled crawlers out in the mud.
Crawlers on the mud.
Yeah, nothing special. We just went out and went fishing. We didn't know those fish were going to be there in those numbers, and we just thought, well, we'll grind it out here and see what happens. We caught a couple pre-fishing and thought, well, we got 8 hours to figure it out.
There you go. Now, is this a place you guys had been out on the mud before, so you had some numbers, you had something to go by where they should be, or?
Yeah, we were there. We got them Thursday and Friday there. We were there
Okay.
an hour each day, and we got a few. Yeah.
Well, that's the main thing. Get a few spots. How deep water were you guys fishing?
22 to 28 feet. Kind of just zigzag.
That seems about the norm. Everybody must have been on that same line down there. That must have been kind of interesting.
We had it pretty much all to ourselves on Saturday. Now, a couple boats came and went, but we were by ourselves.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That makes it a lot easier. You can go out and around the fish when you go back up for a run. Nobody's scaring them off on you. You're not sore mouthing a whole bunch of them. You're getting, you guys only put 6 fish on the card. Did you catch other fish too?
That was it.
Nope.
Oh my.
Nope.
Well, for you Fan Nation out there, their 5 were in the 26 3/4 and across the whole myriad of 27 inches that they had on there for 38.54 pounds. Tell me this, crawlers, what was your weighting system? What did you guys like to use?
We were running 1 ounce inlines.
Okay.
And we did switch over to some snap weights later when we got the big rollers, but
Yeah, so you don't get so much whip back there.
yeah.
So what were your target fish when you were over that deep of water? Where was the food line at? How deep?
Well,
Pretty much near the bottom. We were at 20 foot most of the day.
Okay, so you guys were scraping the bottom looking for them.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One color work over another?
Copper backs were hot.
Copper backs.
Yeah. It didn't really seem to matter what was on the front of the blade, but copper on the back seemed to be the hot ticket.
Yeah. That's usually one too, when they're looking from behind it and they can see what's on the inside of there. That seems to be more important than anything. Well, it was a great finish. I think it's going to line you guys up for the Yamaha Motor Corp Team of the Year points. And we'll see them on Friday. We'll see where everybody's starting to fall into it. You guys got the chance to go to Bismarck for the national championship 2 years ago. Are you ready to go back to another one?
Oh,
That'd
yeah.
be great.
We'd love to. Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be fun, won't it?
Yep.
Well, thanks for visiting with us tonight, guys. And we'll see you at the state championship on Bago in just a few weeks.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good evening.
You too.
It's very cool when you get the chance to spend time on the water with your children or your fathers. It's always a good time. It's even better when you get the chance, because you're both competitive and love to tournament walleye fish, to spend some time in the boat and, well, do fairly well with your mom, with your dad, or your mom, or your sister, or your brother. It's always a good time. Say, if you want to get in on some of this good time, there's still some tournaments left this year. If you're in North Dakota, we have one tournament left in the qualifying season, and that's at Partial Bay this coming Sunday. Now, you do have to register by Wednesday night, tomorrow night at midnight. You go to aimfishing.com right there over my other shoulder, and you'll be able to get registered there. If you are in Minnesota, we have one more qualifying event there as well, and that is going to be on the Winnipegashish Lake Winnipegashish in Bena, Minnesota at Becker's Resort. So if you're very interested in fishing with us, go to aimfishing.com and get signed up. But let's talk about the second event. Now, it's easy to do it one day, but No, it's never easy to do it one day. Okay. It's hard to do it one day, but you know what's even harder? Coming back and do it in a second day. And some of these guys did just that. However, let's bring to you one of our newest champions, first time champions on the AIM Weekend Walleye Series, guys that have been around for a while. Welcome from the champions from the Berkley Open, Sean Cahoot and Brett Walzer. Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Good. So, what does it feel like to be one of the newest champions on the AIM Weekend Walleye Series Tour?
It's definitely a good feeling.
Definitely a great feeling.
Awesome.
You know,
Awesome.
when you get the phone call from your buddy saying congratulations, and the thing is you didn't even know yet.
You know,
I'm not, and you know who called? Mike Pop. He actually won on
did
one of
he?
the earlier ones. He's like, dude, congratulations. I'm like, what? He's like, dude, you won. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I gotta go. I hung up on him. I pulled up Facebook. I'm like, Sean, we won.
And I was driving home and I was on the phone with my brother, and Brett was calling. I said, I got to let you go. Either this is good news or bad news. And I answered, and he's like, we won. I'm like, awesome.
You know, in the COVID lifestyles that we live these days, it's given us a different perspective on how to do things. And even though it's not a big stage, you guys have been on the big stage winning things like the Merck National and Otter Street in the past. You've been on the big stage. It's a little bit different because you heard from Mike, you hear from your brother, you hear from friends that you won because you didn't see it pop up right away. And people are getting excited around it. Did it feel different to you guys? Is it kind of like a different rush, if you would?
It is, because you didn't know. You know, I talked to Piotr and them at the Quick Trip, and they said they thought they heard of a 38-pound bag. So right there, I threw it out the window. I'm like, oh, maybe we got second then. You know, so. And they didn't know. He didn't say for sure. He just said he thought he heard it. Then he told me a couple other 30s he heard of. So I was like, well, what? You just don't know for a little while. And you never know when you're going to actually post it either. So there's just it's all in the air. It's a little bit more into it.
I think it's a little bit more fun when I just throw it out there at some time.
Yeah.
Actually, we wanted to get on the road too, so we were going to post it as soon as we could. So not only are you guys champions on the AIM Weekend Walleye Series, you're going to bang away on contingencies with our marketing partners. Looks like you guys are Garmin certified, so you guys are going to be picking up the extra $500 in Garmin cash. You told me you were trolling out there, so I'm going to beat you up for some information. What were you doing?
We were trolling our gator boards, our gator planer boards, and we were pulling Berkley flicker shads. And we were also pulling flicker minnows. With the shads, we would weight them, and with the minnows, we were running them straight. We did weight them once in a while, but we definitely had a couple different colors. One color in particular that was producing more fish than the rest. So we were running two colors. Two colors were working. Day one, we got them on both. Day two, we caught every single fish on one color. Every single one.
So how deep water were you guys fishing?
20 to 30. With that west wind, you couldn't make the pass you wanted to, so you were starting shallow and ending deep.
Yep, blowing you right across the break line. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm looking at your card here. You guys put a whopping 6 fish on the card.
Yeah.
That's it. 6 fish. Did you guys catch other fish during the day, or was them just your 6 biggest?
Catfish and a sheephead. That's it.
Wow.
And we never lost a fish either after the board was off.
Well, you know, you guys were very consistent with 24s and 25s, but you had a very nice kicker fish to go in there at 28 3/4. That helps out a lot. That must have been the one that pushed you just over the edge, because you only won by a very slight margin of less than 2 pounds. So.
Right.
Yeah, we were on one of our passes, and we had 4 fish in the boat. And I just said to Sean, you know, we're catching a fish every pass. I said, why don't we just take this one out a little deeper? You know, a lot of them big fish, we usually get them in the deeper water. I said, maybe we'll get a 28-incher. We got out to, 29 feet. My outside board went back, brought it in, 28 3/4.
Oh, wow.
And it was a big 28 3/4. And it was thick.
Yeah, they're looking at your fish pictures right now. Fan Nation has them all, and they're kind of going across the screen as we're talking. Yeah, you could see it. It's just round. Most of them out there are, though. They've been gorging on shad, and they've been gorging on them alewives that just left just about a week ago. I think we nailed this one down pretty well.
Yep.
Fish are on the move, though.
If the fish, if it would have been a couple of days earlier, you would have seen some monster weights because it was calm. And the spinner bite gets a lot harder when you have 5-6 footers out there. We knew that. We knew we could catch them. We knew we could catch them on spinners if it was calm, but we knew it was going to be blowing both days. So the cranks, you can't see a bite if you get it on if you're pulling spinners in that big a wave. So you don't know if you're missing your tail or your crawler. There's just too many you don't knows with the harness. Where if you got a crankbait out there, unless it's got weeds, it's working. And in them waves, it's just going faster and slower. So your speed's not quite as crucial. It is, but it's not quite as crucial. And the way them currents are out there with the harnesses, you don't ever know it's hard to tell unless you actually have a harness in the water right by the boat to look at to see how fast your blades are spinning.
Well, them are all great points because we talked with the first place team from the first day, and they were talking about the currents as well and having problems with the currents and the Seiche effect that's going on out there, especially with the big winds we had, and all that water in the bathtub just keeps kind of roiling around out there right now.
Just like the parking lot on Sunday or Saturday morning or Sunday morning. It was full of water when we got there. Then we launched the boats. We looked up, it was dry. By the time we went out, it was full of water again.
Yep.
So the current came in and out. It's just in a matter of an hour and a half while we were sitting there.
Yep. It's amazing, and people don't know what that does to fish a lot of times. And when you're working these specific break lines out there, especially that 15 to 30 foot break line, and I suspect you were in the inner part of the bay, the lower bay.
Yep, we weren't too far away.
It really funnels along them edges out there.
Yep. Yep, and that had a lot to do with not necessarily where the fish were, but the speed you'd catch them at.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you guys would like to tell Fan Nation?
No, just thanks for all the support, phone calls, texts. I mean, my phone was ringing. I missed a lot of phone calls because my phone I was still trying to answer the last phone call. So, and it's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Appreciate the support.
Yep.
Well, thank you for being on the. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to thank all our sponsors, Nitro and Mercury, for sure, and then Gator. We were pulling his boards. His planer boards are awesome. They're a little bit more buoyant than some of the other boards. So, like when you get them big fish on Green Bay, our boards don't go under the water, and they're not bobbers. They stay up, so they don't spin. You don't get that slack line in them. I mean, they definitely work.
All Out Marine, Cabela's, they sponsor us. Just everybody that takes care of us and works with us. Nitro boats, I guess you said it.
We've been running nitros pretty much since what, 13? 14. And
Nice.
we don't plan on going anywhere. We love them.
Cool.
We were over a mile, and he's got a 400, but we were the third boat out in the second flight yesterday. He said, how far ahead of them are we? I go, Sean, they're dots. So the Nitro was definitely with a 400 and 2 footers. That's 66 miles an hour, man. The passenger might be scared, but the driver ain't.
And not only that, with the bay being so high, everybody went around a point where we had a breadcrumb trail inside because the bay is so high. Normally you couldn't shoot across these points and stuff normally unless you idled and you knew it was, deeper. And we were able to cut in and make up quite a few miles because it was only, it wasn't that rough where we were. Where everybody went all the way around. We saved up 5-10 minutes, and we needed that because we got our fish right away in the morning.
We had our fish. Sean picked. He goes to me. He's driving down the lake, and he goes, "Where should we fish?" Because the wind was different. I go, "I don't know. You got to pick." So I got to give that to him. He picked. Within 5 minutes, we had a fish on.
Well, what we did was we were looking for the alewives. Every time you come up, all day long, we'd make passes, and we'd come up, we'd angle to try and come back through the alewives and grab them. If you weren't grabbing them, there was no fish. So you had to be on them. If you weren't marking, it's like, pick up, we got to go.
Yeah, we weren't just fishing a coordinate. We were fishing the fish. We'd drive around and look for them, and then we'd fish.
Yes. And we'd make a little pass, and if we didn't see enough bait fish, we're out of there. We'd move over and just kept on moving down the lake. And once you get on that school, you can do it. But if you have a couple boats come through, you can watch the fish go down, or you can watch the alewives, spread, and you just got to stay with them.
It's hard. Finding them because you can go the wrong way. You don't know which way they went.
Because
And we also use the live scope off the front of the boat because we're looking out 100 feet while we're pulling our board, and we can see them fish out there exactly what height they're at. So we knew they were at 10 feet down that first day when it was rough. And a lot of them guys were like, how'd you know? Like, dude, I was taking a leak up in the front of the boat. I looked at the line. She's like, Sean, I'm going to turn the line scope on. I turned it on. All the fish are up there at 10 feet. Well, the boat was scattering them before we'd get to them. So you'd never see them on your graph back here.
Yep.
But up there, it told the whole story ahead of time. Before you even get there, you can see what's going on.
Yeah, it's amazing tool. There's no doubt about it. You guys got 2 or 3 of them on your boats now, don't you?
We just have them on the front of the boat.
Okay. Sean told me he was going to put another one on the back end.
Believe it or not, Denny, we're jiggers. We're jiggers by heart, hardcore jiggers. And the bite just wasn't up north, and we both knew it. And I stumbled upon a crankbait bite out in the mud, and that's where we went.
Well, we did. There was a bite on the east side we gave up. You know, we had I had 35 pounds on Wednesday, but with them winds, we didn't want to go over there.
Yeah.
And we couldn't take that chance. And then he went down from Chambers, went across and he was actually catching, he had pretty good pre-fishing over there. I mean,
All
you know,
3 days.
we had 28, 29s,
Pre-fishing.
26s, 25s, and we didn't beat spots up. You know, it was always checking new spots and going around searching.
Sure.
So we weren't doing too bad.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you guys for being with us on the wrap tonight. Maybe we'll see you at the state championship or for team of the year or something else where you guys make some money.
We're coming for it now.
All right.
Sounds good.
I hope everybody's ready.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a
Bye.
good one.
You know, it's always fun. Guys have been fishing together for a long time, having fun out there on the tournament trail. We'd love to see that. We'd like to see it when they get a chance to win too, because winning's fun. How about second place though? We want to talk to second place from day 2. Second place from day 2 took 5th on day 1. He's going to give us a little insight what it takes to keep your mind together after placing high on the first day. How do you come back the second day? How do you do it? He also fishes on another circuit that's going to be on the Bay of Green Bay on Thursday and Friday. So we didn't get into in-depth questions with him about how he was fishing, but just why he made the decisions. Hey, Isaac Lackish, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Denny, how you doing?
Hey, life's good. Life's good. We're catching you outside up there in Oconto right now. You're getting ready to fish tournament at the end of the week. Thanks for giving us a little bit of your time to talk to your fans out here in Never Never Land.
Of course, definitely.
So, Isaac and his partner Tristan Beckwith were lucky enough to land in 5th place the first day and turn it right back around into a second place finish on the second day. Is that because of something that you learned the first day, or how do you keep your mind in the game after taking a nice 5th place finish out of 88 boats, turning it right back around on the field and take a second from them on the next day?
Well, I mean, in any tournament situation or a 2-day, tournament kind of thing, yeah, definitely keeping your mind in the game and not letting the first day, whether you had a good day or a bad day, affect you is key to having success in multiple days and different weather conditions and that kind of thing. So from day 1 to day 2, we kind of took day 1 as it was, and okay, cool, we had a good day, but we have more work to do, and just kind of kept our minds in the game, came up with a game plan for the second day, knowing that things are probably going to change a little bit. And we were able to, capitalize on the couple of key bites we got. And, it seems like other guys weren't able to capitalize on some of the bites they got. So, cards fell as they were, and we ended up in second. We lost a couple fish that might have helped us, a little bit more, but hey, that's fishing. So you can't count the ones you lost.
Well, you can't, but I can count the 4 that you put on your card to take second place. You didn't even need that 5th one, and you're only a couple pounds out of it. You guys definitely made some adjustments. Yep. I would love to know what they are, but we're not going to get them out of you because you got the NWT coming at the end of the week.
Oh no! If you want to interview me again at the end of the week on say Saturday or something, I might give a few things up. But yeah, I'll let everyone know that between day 1 and the first day on Saturday and the second day on Sunday, we weren't doing anything the same. We did 2 completely polar opposite tactics, and we were able to put together a good bag on day 1 and a good bag on day 2. That helped us secure some, top 5 finishes, which was fun. We learned a lot in pre-fish about how these fish react during cold front situations, and that definitely helped us. We knew that we were going to have to make adjustments on the fly, and that's what we did. Pretty much everything that we learned in pre-fish kind of just went out the window, and we ended up, having to move around a bunch. Day 1, we really had to move a lot. The fish where we thought they were going to be, they moved quite a bit. And then same thing on yesterday on day 2, the fish weren't exactly where we thought they were going to be, and we had to kind of adjust to them a little. So, but yeah, worked out in our favor, I guess.
Yeah, you'll be pocketing up some nice gas money for the future. That'll be coming your way. A little bit more wood for the wall. You already got some of that. We got some more of it for you. And I'll tell you what, you go get yourself a W at the end of the week, and we'll have another chat with you later on.
We'll see what happens at the end of the week. I'm pretty optimistic. This is Green Bay, it just gets better and better the later in the summer we get. So those big fish should start firing here soon. You know what they say, if they don't bite for 3 days, the 4th day should be the best. So
they got to be hungry.
Right. We'll see what happens. I mean, we got a couple more days to, go explore a little bit more and check some more stuff and see if we can't, put the cards in order and come out on top again. So we'll see what happens.
Well, sounds good. Thanks for visiting with us at the Wrap, Isaac. You have a good end of the week, and we'll see you again soon.
Definitely. Before I sign off, I just want to say thanks to all my fans, all the sponsors, everyone that helps, support me do this. You guys are the reason why I keep doing this every single day, and I hope I can keep bringing you guys entertainment and maybe some information and, help you guys catch some more fish. So see you guys later.
And there you have it, Fan Nation. 2 great events, the Garmin Open, the Berkley Open, back-to-back out of Oconto, Wisconsin on beautiful Bay of Green Bay. Did you see the pictures of them fish? They're fantastic. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have the official final standings posted. We'll have some more fish pictures out there. Hang in there with us because we got Navionics Big Fish Thursday coming. Friday, we'll have the Yamaha Motor Corp Team of the Year points for Wisconsin tallied after 4 events. You'll see where you're in the standings. Now, remember, Team of the Year is based upon 3 of the qualifying events and your state championship points. So you got to put it all together. You can't take your foot off the throttle. You have to keep going for it. Again, if you're in North Dakota and you want to fish Lake Sakakawea out of Partial Bay this weekend, go to aimfishing.com and get signed up right now. If you're anywhere near Lake Winnie in beautiful northern Minnesota and you want to fish up there with us on August 2nd, feel free to do so. Again, aimfishing.com. Fan Nation, you're what drives this sport. We love bringing it to you. If you want to see something different, you let us know you want to see something different. We will absolutely bring it to you. Until then, thank you very much for being a fan, and we hope you enjoyed the wrap.